So let's start the flag. I'm going to do a slideshow like this. All right, that's the flag. Never is my title. Hypotenuse. We'll start with that. Parameter of interest is the percentage of dog lovers and cat lovers in Wilcox High School that love the American flag. P1, the true proportion of cat lovers and that love the American flag in Wilcox High School. P2, the true proportion of dog lovers that love the American flag in Wilcox High School. I'm going to repeat that word a lot, in Wilcox High School, because it was going to be a Santa Claus school district, but that turned out to be a mess because never thought that literally those people would complain and have to make me talk to the math department about this for um, that reason. But I will tell you something. I don't understand this because I kind of do understand because it's the only environmental science class in the Santa Cruz School District. So they set a survey there. But if they set a survey there, shouldn't the Wilcox High School students also be able to do their survey in Santa Clara High School too? Just saying. But I wasn't able to, and that's why I had to delete it later on. Which was fun. That was a very much fun thing to do. Um, you know, eh. And then null hypothesis is obvious. It's the same for dog lovers and cat lovers in the Wilcox High School. And then the alternative is not the same. Yeah. So that was a fun little tidbit about Santa Clara. Next time, don't I don't know. There's no next time, but um, just don't send a survey there because it's gonna be a mess. So I don't have any photo proof. So this is the best you're gonna get out of the things I did. Mostly because, uh, honestly, it's just because uh, I forgot. So, yeah. So I'm gonna just describe what I did. So I did a rand int with 1 to 101. One number equals one teacher. Yeah, that was fun. There's originally going to be 10 teachers. Three of them, unfortunately, responded too late. I got their response, and they all said okay. They were just a little bit too late. Um, one of them was a PE teacher, which is why I'm happy that they were late because if I actually did that, I had to go to the PE place, wait for them to line up, get their people one by one, one by one, and I would have scorched that in the sun. I would not like that. So they were late. I'm pretty sure it's okay because I learned in random int. Each random int is random in itself, individual. So if I do random int one time, it'll show random int another time will affect another probability of that. So I'm hoping that's good enough in any sense. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. Went to the class at SSR, for obvious reason. I think I was able to go 10 minutes early because I had a sub. So we were literally doing nothing in that second period class. So they just said, "All right, you can go there." He wrote a pass for me. I think actually not even 10 minutes, like 30 minutes, like before, like after I finished reading that book out loud in the hallway. Actually, yeah, because I no, I think no, it's 10 minutes only. I'm definitely sure because it took me a long time to read that play. So yeah, so I was reading out, and so that's why I was able to go in a little bit early. So thank you, the substitute teacher. I then did some okay, this part. I did say to the teacher it was not mandatory or something like that. Uh, Basically, or if the teacher wasn't there, and they approved it obviously. But to students, I said it was some of the students. I didn't do it to everyone. I just did it to the class. And the lucky thing is that some of them had the substitute teacher, so take advantage of that and say this mandatory to the students. It's totally legal and not against rules. So you know, go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna say more than that because I might get in trouble for that. I don't know. So anyway, that was fun. So out loud and just called my bluff. Don't worry about it. They're not that um, easy to uh, fall for that trick. I don't think it's easy to fall for that trick if you know what I'm doing. Oh well. So, I told about my biggest bias, which I don't like, because they're allowed to do it for um, environmental science. Why can't I do it with my project? Who knows? Anyways, did a random cluster sampling, and also lying about being mandatory, and got the teacher's permission first. And when certain someone did not have a phone, I made them type in the URL. That was fun. Not really. It was just making them type in gradually, waiting in the literally next to them, and then one keyword at a time. Ugh, ugh, ugh. That's what we literally. That's why I literally did, waiting them for 1, 2, 3 days because I had a little. I was holding up the poster and just shoving it to everyone's face in the classroom, and then they got their phone out, did it, and some of them I literally watched them do it because I what else am I supposed to do? Um, but one kid I had, he didn't have his phone, so he grabbed this Chromebook, and typed in begrudgingly, yeah, because on the bottom, I had the link there. Uh, I wouldn't recommend you lie to them by saying it's mandatory at all, but that worked. So, uh, yeah, okay, yeah. Um, anyway, in the end, yeah, that was more torture to me actually, having to wait there excruciatingly. He went really slow on that one too. Maybe he wanted revenge on me. So it was like he typed in one letter at a time, like begrudgingly slowly. I saw his hand was going slow as a turtle, and I think it was on purpose. Who cares? I put in none, and will cause high scores as an option, so I could just get rid of those people when they put it in. I'm pretty sure that kid that had that URL had a none, so his data was useless to me anyway. So worthless data. Because the yellow part is the none. I have all I hate or whatever animals they have. They don't care because they don't have dog lovers or cat lovers. Um, so 14.5% of the 46 thing will be negated and just gone for the win. Um, I'm really happy to see that there's a lot of dog lovers and cat lovers in here. Surprisingly enough, so PO, a little bit surprised about this. 0.5 is huge. Not because it's huge, but I'm talking about PO, by the way. So I'm not saying it's huge in the sense that it's big. I'm saying it's because it's such a perfect number. 50%, huh? Well, it's not really 50%, but 0.5. Oh, 0.5. Oh, really? That sounds suspicious to me. Then I just realized, go back to raw data. If you go back without getting rid of anything, it's 50-50. Come on, man. And I said, come on, man. Oh my God. Yeah, I agree with you. I trust the math. Uh, I was talking to myself at that point, and I said, "Yeah, that's trustworthy enough to say, yeah, I get it. That's trustworthy." So I trust the data and just moved on with it without caring. So there, and I look at the other this graph. I said there's a 5% difference in each way for 50% difference, which is why we're doing the test anyways. But I think. Um, if this was 50-50, I wouldn't have to even take the test to say, oh wait, they're the same. uh, I just had to prove the conditions are right, and I would have just said, "Hey, I know this is the same because of this X, Y, and Z." But unfortunately, there's a 5% difference, which means I do have to do some math, and begrudgingly, I did it. So, bias, possible bias. There's so many special classes. The special class. I should have talked about this earlier. COVID-19. There's so many small classes. I was wondering why in the world is there so many small classes, and I realized, duh, COVID-19 and they're not wearing masks. I had some data from the teacher saying, they had some data saying, not my data, but they said that the people from I'm not gonna I shouldn't say that, but I heard some teachers say that there's a lot of people in the people that are not taking the advanced placement or the honors, having COVID and other stuff, which I don't see actually, but they're claiming that, so I'm just gonna go with it. I don't think that's true, but you know, That's what they said. But I'm mostly thinking because I don't know why I got a lot of special ed classes. Um, because I had one class I literally had like maybe 5 people, and I was like 5 minutes early in that class. And I was saying I was 5 minutes early from SSR, and there was still only 5 people. Luckily, that was one rare case, but it was weird. There wasn't as many people as I expected it to be, and they're all over the place. So bias alert on that part. Random cluster sampling was fun, right? Going to each room. Um, yeah, I did random cluster by the way. I think I said that. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. In the end of this presentation, I'll probably go up stage and say if you have any questions, I will answer it. But that's for later. Anyway, next page is HO equals 0, HA equal not 0. So P1 and P2 is the same thing as I expressed earlier. Two sample Z test for P1 minus P2. Random. I did a random cluster as I did random 1 to 100 and got 7 teachers as I previously discussed. It was a little weird. If I were to do it again, which I probably won't, uh, I would probably choose a neater way to do this. Cluster sample was not probably not the best way because there were so many different number of students variable, which clogged the data as one proportion could be higher. But I really trust the data this time because it was 50-50, and that doesn't usually happen, so I just went with it. But I would recommend if you're really a statistician, um, you know, maybe do a random sample in a different way, uh, because that was a little bit of a mess. Um, I will admit that much because there wasn't an even population in every room. So there is also this part over here. I will talk about this with my mouse over here. Anyway, the first part over here you could practically ignore. I did this just to because I thought that was needed in the first part just to show that but it turns out not needed. What I mean by that is 10% over here is needed because none and such a standard Clara just get rid of it, which equals n equals 64. 64 is what I'm going to do. 64 multiplied by 10 equals 640, which is way less than 2000. And even with countering dog population, if you look over there and above, it's like 30 and 20. So if you calculate all that, even if you get rid of the 14.5% of that, it's still way over 2000. Will cost high schools, a huge school, um, compared to the not huge school, but huge enough of a school that wouldn't matter at all. Um, and multiplied by P1 is greater than 10, and multiplied by P2 must be greater than 10. It's guaranteed at this point because 10 multiplied by 22 is 0.45, which means at least 50% of 64. A little less, but you get the point. It would be way more than 10. And the same can be saved for the 64 multiplied by 22 divided by 40. Next is the equation part. We're going to look at the equation. As you can see, we first had this basic math, if you can figure it out, and we basic is 0.134, bigger than 0.05, significant level. You can get bored down with the math if you want to read it, go ahead, but honestly, self-explanatory for people in the statistics class because you guys have taken statistics. Therefore, as long as you listen to Miss, you probably did learn that. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just plugging in. There was not enough evidence of a difference between P1 or P2, so we do not reject null. So basically, we keep it. Yeah. Happy day. Other possible error. I could have done a type 2 error. Yes, I could have. I could have made an error that said, "Oh, didn't reject a null, but I, I didn't reject it. I did not reject the null. I accepted. I mean, you know." And then I did not reject the null. So that could have happened, and I should have rejected the null because the data said. But I'm doubting that actually happened. The type 2 error actually happened because of the graphs showing that it's like 5.5, and even getting rid of Santa Claus 0.5. So I'm really skeptical of making having this type 2 error. I'm pretty sure it's not, and the p-value was huge, so I really doubt it at that point. So I just crossed that out of my mind. I could have made it. I doubt it. Some people could have pretended to take the survey. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it happens with every survey. I tried to make sure they do it properly, but I doubt that everyone did it. Uh, Even if I'm there to supervise them, force them to do it. Especially since, and that was a bad move, maybe because they probably did some regrettable. I mean, they can't really screw up this survey because a yes or no question. They could have tried to be evil and put like I don't know. Everyone in the class said no, and that never happened. But that's the only possible way that I can see this data being skewed because it's a yes or no question. It can't be skewed that off easily, unlike a 0.0 to 1, a 0 to 5, or 0 to those range questions. So it's really hard to do that. So I don't think troll comments would happen as easily as it could. I mean, you could do troll, but I never told them that none or Santa Clara Wilcox will be deleted. So what reason do they have to get rid of to press anything else except for Wilcox High School as at the and what? Why would you press? I mean, if you press none, I'm just going to delete you from the whole service. So 12 comments, I'm going to get rid of you. You're just going to decrease the n. That's the most you can do. So, um, yes, other test I did was a two pop Z test for interval. And with a 95 compass test should do the trick. I thought, which it did. It gave negative to 0.1. And since 0 is captured in between these intervals, thereby saying that I cannot determine anything from about the being a difference. I can't say that there's a difference in it because 0 is captured. If 0 wasn't captured, I could say there's a difference, um, and then we would be talking about how there might be something else with it, and I'll try some other test to see if there was something special with that. Maybe I don't know. But there wasn't. They were all the same, so nothing to speak volumes of. Okay, and that's pretty much it.